Okay, great. So this is a quick game against the Delhi Sultanate. Actually, the Delhi Sultanate is a really nice matchup for the Ottomans. Um, any civilization that kind of relies to a significant extent on cavalry, especially fairly lightly armoured cavalry, is a really nice matchup for the obvious reason that Janissaries versus cavalry do very well. So I switched to income per minute, fairly quick, 2 minutes 30 on the Sultani Trade Network. Not at the beginning of that building. I had the problem in this game, which I have quite a lot. I think I accidentally turned the VPN on before starting, and the VPN ruins ruins it, and then it's very hard to kind of quit the game or get out of the game and go back in, i.e. to turn the VPN off. But there we are. Okay, one military school at 7:40. It's not great, to be honest. Not my finest timings wise. 9 minutes 35 getting Castle Age up. It's fairly okay, I think. As you can see, I've basically allowed them to create a reasonable force without creating any force myself at all, just relying on the military schools to create one or two people. I normally am able to just about get away with that unless I'm playing someone really good. How I get away with that is I normally am able to get the springboard in placement ready to go on one or two outposts. At this time I wanted to get on stone, but then I was kind of concerned with their efforts for raiding, so I was a little bit wary, and I was also a bit slow with removing villagers from vulnerable positions as well this game, which I really don't do that very well. Obviously here I'm charging down with three spearmen, lose a villager there. But then I think I might get one of these. Yeah, I get one at least. Do a bit more damage to another two. Obviously important to not let these spearmen go too far. Do I let them go too far? I do a bit, but bring them back in the end. Move these villagers off that gold, just because that's the obvious thing to do, but then I think they do actually get caught up with, and then they die. Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world, to be completely honest. Again, focusing on getting those Janissaries, etc., you're going to lose some villagers, and this was very slow. This was poor. So I've lost probably, I don't know, 10 maybe, total. But they've taken a few... Yeah, they've taken a few casualties as well, so it's not been kind of completely obvious. In terms of income per minute, actually, I'm smashing it. I don't know what they're doing. Like, really, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, maybe they were building their next stage. Got ya. Okay, that's fine. So no, it's a little bit more fair now. We're both in castle. They would do well to not focus on light melee cavalry though against Ottoman. But unfortunately, that's exactly what they're doing, which is nice for me. Obviously, it's a bit of a pain when they're raiding, but when it comes to the battle itself, not going to be very hard. So I do a bit of kind of overly redistributing villages, a bit slow on the house building as well, and I basically don't... Here we go. So I've got a little bit of a force now already that I'm a bit slow to bring to bear. So they don't actually manage to take a villager out that time. They might even have a problem here with... Those archers don't do very little, do they? Those arrows. Oh, there we are. Springboard emplacement. I do like that springboard emplacement. I really dislike, though, the fact that they don't go straight on when you press go back to work. They don't go back to work. That's really annoying. I've complained about that before, so apologies to those who have heard me complain about that before. Let's build more houses. One thing I did, and I think it's been slightly revolutionary, to be honest, although it's a bit difficult to tell the difference. I didn't realise that the blacksmith helped the timings for the military school, and maybe that's like me being absolutely stupid, it probably is, but I do think it might have helped. I do think it might have helped these timings in terms of creating just 3 units and doing so actually slightly quicker than otherwise than I was doing before knowing that the military schools are also impacted by the called aura or this area here around the blacksmith and the university. There you go, same effort to raid. This time they do a bit better. They have the good idea of using crossbowmen, which makes sense. So I kind of look to bring my mangonels to bear on that. And as soon I'm 1756, that's about right for me to start to push forward. I'm lacking farms. I've gone a bit too hard on wood, a bit too much wood, but I think kind of respond appropriately at some point. I don't know, I do decide, although I'm leaving all these villages exposed, the priority in terms of defence is obviously very much the town centre. So I make that call. I don't know whether it was the right call. But I don't want to take a long time to get back to defend a major push against the kind of town centre, etc. So I do decide that that's what I'm going to do, and then I lose a lot of villagers for the sake of it. So 1, 2, not a lot, 2 villages, and at this point I've got a decent army, and it's an army that's going to really give some problems to these light cavalry, what they're essentially light cavalry. I'm aware of that, and what I'm really looking for is the Ottoman Seagate Castle rush, such that I've got a fair few on food now. So my plan will be. Oh dear, I haven't clicked that though. It's poor. My plan would be to. Excuse me. My plan would be to get a load of villagers along with this attack and do the rush, but obviously I can't leave these horsemen, these cavalry, roaming around too freely. So I do need to be a bit mindful of that, and also it's going to take me a little bit of time before my food's ready to go. So I decided to put some janissaries up here. They then attack there and just take out one villager here. This is probably the right thing to do, I'd suggest, in terms of taking out my mangonels. But they haven't managed to do enough damage with these archers yet to really make this count, and they've also still got a force kind of trying to mess around up here. So that's 13 cavalry that they really do need down here to strengthen the attack, strengthen the defence of this push. And the Janissaries against light cavalry is just really just kind of knife through butter kind of thing. So they get annoyed and then quit out in a minute. Slightly understandably, but they don't really like people who just quit that easily. In terms of yeah, slow enough. In terms of population, we've got, this is me, Econ 53 with 2 idle, military 58. Econ 54, military 35. And I would suggest that the military issue is, again, as I say, because a load of fairly cheap crossbowmen and a load of light cavalry is really not going to withstand this force, especially with a couple of mangonels in there. 37 Janissaries there, a couple of men at arms. Looks like I've accidentally bought a crossbowman. I don't normally buy crossbowmen. I'm not sure what the plan is here, to be honest. They just get annoyed and try and throw everything at me. But otherwise, quite a good game, and I'm just about to get next stage ready to go. So actually, even if they didn't quit out, they're pretty much done. So yeah, Delphi Sultanate is normally quite an easy one for the Ottomans. And they don't allow me to do what I want to do now, which is to bring up, basically go click click, get 28 villages for example, and then come and whack a Seagate Castle somewhere annoying. Good game.